Dean Ambrose, has broken his silence in the most unpredictable and electric way imaginable. His words have reignited a fire that fans thought was long extinguished, a fire that could change the course of professional wrestling forever. This isn't just about nostalgia. It's not about reviving old glory for a cheap pop. This is about brotherhood, loyalty, betrayal, and redemption. Everything that made the Shield one of the most dominant forces in modern wrestling history. The moment Jon Moxley stepped up to the mic after AEW Dynamite, we knew something monumental was about to unfold. And it all started after the chaos of Monday Night Raw, when Seth Rollins unleashed a brutal attack on CM Punk and Paul Heyman, leaving the entire WWE locker room stunned. Seth Rollins' explosive turn, a career-defining moment. The WWE Universe is still reeling from what Seth Rollins did on Raw. In a move that left fans speechless, Rollins, once the architect of the Shield, now a man consumed by frustration, took matters into his own hands. With the intensity of someone who had been pushed too far, Seth exploded in an assault so savage that it felt like a cathartic release of years of built-up frustration. He didn't just attack CM Punk and Paul Heyman. He sent a powerful message to everyone in WWE that he was no longer playing by the rules. The ambush was quick and calculated. Rollins struck with the precision and ruthlessness of someone who had spent too long watching his past be manipulated and destroyed. Every blow, every stomp, every swing of the chair was a declaration of independence. He was done waiting for permission, done waiting for others to take control of his story. Seth Rollins had rewritten the script, and it was clear. This was the beginning of something bigger. Moxley's unexpected return. A voice from the past. But as the WWE Universe was processing what had just unfolded, something even more shocking happened. A voice that had been silenced for years echoed through the airwaves, one that fans instantly recognized. It was raw, it was untamed, and it was unmistakably Jon Moxley. The lunatic fringe, as he was once called, reappeared in a way no one expected. And his message was a game-changer. After AEW Dynamite went off the air, Moxley grabbed a microphone. No frills, no security, just pure, unfiltered emotion. There was no script, no corporate nonsense, just a man, fueled by years of history and unfinished business. And what he said shook the very foundation of professional wrestling. Moxley wasted no time in addressing Seth Rollins' actions on Raw. "I saw what you did to that weasel Heyman," Moxley began, his voice dripping with raw emotion. "About damn time someone shut him up." The crowd around him erupted in cheers. But it wasn't just about Heyman. It was deeper than that. Moxley's words weren't just a passing comment. They were a direct challenge, a message that carried the weight of everything that had happened between the Shield brothers. He continued, "Roman might be too soft to finish the job, but us, we know how this ends." It was more than just a shot at Roman Reigns' perceived softness. It was a statement of intent. It was a reminder that even after years apart, after different journeys and different companies, the bond between these three men still existed. The Shield was never truly broken. It was simply waiting for the right moment to reassemble. The internet explodes. A wrestling world in chaos. As soon as Moxley's words hit the airwaves, the wrestling world exploded. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, all lit up with speculation, excitement, and disbelief. Fans from every corner of the globe, whether they were WWE loyalists, AEW diehards, or casual observers, all had the same question. Is this real? Could the Shield, the faction that once dominated WWE, be on the verge of reuniting? The implications were staggering. WrestleMania 41 was already shaping up to be one of the most anticipated events in history. But now there was a new layer of intrigue. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, had been radio silent since the chaos of Raw. Seth Rollins had ignited a firestorm of his own. And now, Jon Moxley, the man who had walked away from WWE and embraced his chaotic nature, had thrown himself back into the mix in the most shocking way possible. A shared narrative. The Shield's legacy lives on. For the first time in years, all three Shield members, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Jon Moxley, were part of a shared narrative once again. Even though they were in different companies and on different brands, the story that was now unfolding was undeniably tied to their history. Seth's violent attack on Heyman and Punk had opened the door. Roman's absence only added to the mystery. And Moxley's unexpected return, wearing the iconic Black Shield vest, sent a clear message. The Shield was back, whether fans or management were ready or not. The Shield was never just about dominating the tag team division or winning championships. It was about a bond between three men who started together, fought together, and conquered the world together. That bond had been tested, strained by betrayals and personal ambition. But it was never fully broken. And now, in this chaotic moment, it felt like that bond might be reformed. This time, with even higher stakes. Backstage chaos. Conversations between companies. The implications of Moxley's unsanctioned promo were massive. Sources from both WWE and AEW have been reporting a flurry of behind-the-scenes activity since Moxley's return to the narrative. While nothing official has been announced, word is that higher-ups in WWE have reached out to Moxley through back channels, quietly inquiring about what it would take to get him involved at WrestleMania 41. The possibility of a one-night-only appearance, or even a storyline that transcends company lines, is now on the table. While Vince McMahon is said to be out of the loop, Triple H is reportedly keeping a very close eye on the situation. The entire wrestling world is watching, and what happens next could change everything. Meanwhile, CM Punk, whose recent involvement with Paul Heyman has made waves of its own, is reportedly furious. He's demanding that AEW management take action against Moxley for going off script, for crossing a line that could cause legal issues between AEW and WWE. Punk, always the controversial figure, is worried that Moxley's unsanctioned promo could set off a chain of events neither company can control. The hounds of justice are always loose. But despite the corporate chaos, the fans are focused on the most important question. What does this all mean for WrestleMania 41? With Roman Reigns' future uncertain, Seth Rollins firing on all cylinders, and Jon Moxley back in the spotlight, the possibilities are endless. Could we be headed for one final chapter in the Shield story? Could these three men, once brothers in arms, reunite for one last war? Just as the wrestling world was beginning to process everything, Moxley made the move that would leave fans breathless. He tore open his jacket, revealing the iconic Black Shield vest, the very same one that symbolized the power and unity of the faction that changed WWE forever. The moment was electric. Fans watching live and those at home went wild. The atmosphere was charged with energy, with a sense of history being made right before our eyes. With a growl, Moxley simply said, "The hounds are always loose." And then, without another word, he walked off, leaving the wrestling world in complete chaos. The camera lingered on the empty space where Moxley had just stood, the weight of his words hanging in the air. The Shield's legacy and the road to WrestleMania 41. It wasn't just a promo. It wasn't just a tease. What Moxley did was a statement, a declaration that the Shield's legacy was far from over. Whether they reunite or continue their separate paths, the impact of what just happened cannot be overstated. The Shield was more than a faction. It was a movement that changed the course of wrestling history. And now, with WrestleMania 41 just around the corner, we are left to wonder, what happens next? Will Roman Reigns return and confront his former brothers? Will Seth Rollins' burning desire for vengeance lead him to reunite with Moxley and Reigns? Or will he continue his own path? The lines between WWE and AEW are more blurred than ever, and if the Shield reunion is truly on the horizon, it could rewrite the future of wrestling in ways we never imagined. Paul Heyman, the mastermind behind so much of this drama, is now in the crosshairs of all three former Shield members. His manipulation, his betrayals, and his power plays have led to this moment. He is at the center of a storm that could either unite or destroy the Shield once and for all. As we approach WrestleMania 41, one thing is certain. The hounds of justice are loose again, and the world is watching. The Shield's legacy is far from over, and its final chapter might just be the most explosive one yet. Stay tuned, because the story is just beginning.